Who could have thought that an interview that had been awaited for weeks by thousands of fans was finally canceled just hours before its broadcast? No warning. There is no in-depth explanation. Only one brief statement from the production side. This interview does not meet the broadcasting and ethical standards we set. But what exactly is the content of the interview? Why is it that just by mentioning Jungkook's name, the atmosphere becomes so sensitive that everything is canceled? Is there really something to hide? Or is this just part of deliberate sensations? Fans who have been looking forward to the airing of the interview expressed their disappointment on various social media platforms. "We just want to see another side of Jungkook, which may never have been shown," one fan wrote on Twitter. But when the name of a mysterious source began to emerge, someone who claimed to have been part of the star's close circle, the issue turned into a mystery that gripped the public. Is this person saying something too personal? Did he reveal a secret that should have remained locked? What made it all the more horrendous was the fact that the broadcast team had actually edited the interview to the point that it was almost ready to air. The filming is over, the teaser has been released, and even a short 30-second clip showing a cut of the source's face in dim light has been viewed more than 2 million times in the first 24 hours. But all of a sudden it's gone. What's really going on behind the scenes? Why was the interview considered inappropriate? And what is Jungkook's role in this whole story, if he was not present at the interview at all? This chronology of events originated from a special documentary program produced by one of the premium streaming channels in South Korea, which was previously known for airing exclusive interviews with top artists. The production team has given a strong signal that this episode will be the most intimate and most honest in the history of the program. The original title has even been leaked to the media as "What You Don't Know About Jungkook." This of course makes thousands of ARMY, as BTS fans are called, welcome enthusiastically, while raising speculation after speculation. However, everything changed when one of the interviewees, a former freelance choreographer who had worked with BTS artistic team during the period of their world tour a few years ago, showed something that finally made the producers pull the emergency brake. In an interview that lasted almost an hour and a half, why did the media choose to cancel the interview instead of editing or providing additional context? A senior editor of the documentary program in question gave a little enlightenment anonymously to several Korean media. There is tremendous pressure from all sides. We deal not only with the public reputation of the figure, but also the psychological impact on the viewer and the artist himself. We don't want to be the cause of continued trauma for anyone. Does this mean that the content of the interview did touch on something too personal and painful? Meanwhile, Jungkook's fans began forming an online community calling for transparency. They feel that in the absence of a full-fledged clarification, it gives rise to even more prejudice and wild speculation. A number of hashtags such as #ProtectJungkook and #WeDeserveTheTruth were trending on X, formerly Twitter. One fan from Indonesia even wrote in his upload, "If there is indeed something painful in the interview, wouldn't it be better to convey it wisely, instead of keeping us guessing?" It turned out that after being traced further, the interview contained some image content about several rooms at Jungkook's house that the public should not know about. Many people are now questioning the editing process and quality control of the production house that handled the interview. How did the images pass the initial screening? How could a team of so-called professionals allow a source to be in control of highly sensitive material? In an exclusive report from several Korean media outlets, it was stated that the main producer had stopped the editing process when he learned that the source footage showed part of Jungkook's personal studio. The studio where he often writes lyrics and records music demos. The room was a part of him that had never been open to the public, even by Jungkook himself. The presence of these images not only hurt Jungkook's privacy, but also created internal tensions between the management and the production team. HYB Labels, in an official statement, stated that they deeply regret this incident and will not tolerate any violation of their artists' privacy rights. The statement implies that the company is conducting a thorough investigation into who was involved in this incident and whether there are any violations of the law that could be imposed on the source. However, to this day, the source has not yet given an open clarification. His identity was tightly concealed by the production house, although public speculation began to spread. Some say he was a former housekeeper. Some referred to him as a close associate from the past who was invited as a surprise on the show. But regardless of who he really is, his actions have opened deep wounds, not just for Jungkook, but also for fans and the public who have always respected his personal space. What happened next was truly shocking. In a private post that only lasted 10 minutes on Weverse, which Jungkook himself later deleted, he wrote, Not all spaces you have to see. I have a story to tell, but not that way. This sentence made hundreds of thousands of soldiers cry. In his silence, Jungkook conveyed a sense of disappointment that could not be shouted out. It is not angry. It is not to blame. He only reminds that behind an idol, there is a human being who also needs a place to breathe without a camera. The army from various countries began to carry out a solidarity movement by sending a message to HYBE and the broadcast media not to show recordings that contain violations of privacy. The hashtags #ProtectJungkook and #RespectHisPrivacy became global trending topics in less than 2 hours after the removal of the Weverse post. This action became proof that the love of fans is not just visual consumption, but a deep emotional bond between the artist and those who value his life. Meanwhile, a source from the production house mentioned that the interviewees were unaware that the footage would be used in its final form, and claimed that the dissemination of the images took place outside the plans of the production team. However, the argument did not ease public anger, because the main problem is not only about the published pictures, but the fact that someone easily accesses the private space of a global star without close supervision. Many considered that if this could happen to Jungkook, then something similar could happen to anyone. A fan from Brazil wrote in an open letter published by the official Army Global Support fan base, "Jungkook has always given his fans confidence. She shows her tears, her fragile voice, and her struggles in music. But when he tried to give more, the world wasn't ready to take care of him. We are supposed to be a fence, not a destructive window." This letter was translated into 14 languages as a form of global solidarity. Jungkook is not the only celebrity to face this issue, but what sets him apart is the huge and emotional global reaction. He is not only an idol for Korea, but a role model for millions of young people around the world. His every step is followed, his every expression examined, and his every silence interpreted. So when his privacy is violated, the disappointment that arises cannot be contained only by an apology or official statement. But until this video aired, there has not been a single source who confirmed what the real reason was that made the interview banned from airing. And if the reason the interview was banned from airing was because it was dangerous for the personal residents of the house, namely Jungkook, then the picture of what room was shown in the interview also no one. Meanwhile, many pop culture analysts view the incident as a stark reminder that popularity is not a reason to access all sides of a celebrity's life. Even in a world that is as transparent as it is today, there are limits that should not be violated. Professor Min Jae of one of the top universities in Korea stated in an interview with one of the media, "What happened to Jungkook reflects the increasingly frequent ethical conflict between the entertainment industry and human values. We must ask ourselves, are we watching out of curiosity or out of a desire to understand?"